Let's give a shout out, Max. Okay, guys. So, I've had a few people write me telling me that apparently I can't read. I'm being facetious. Hey, Max. Figure 11 stated here: aft segment and aft end of aft hull pieces after the segment was removed from the aft dome. Hey, Max. Yeah, thanks for the shout out, baby. Okay. Well, the problem with this is it says after it was removed from the aft dome. It's just a mistake. I don't think the Coast Guard means it makes such a clear mistake, but it says right here, aft segment. This is the aft segment. The aft segment has the shackle connected to it. In fact, to be able to determine top, it has the top piece. All right, there's the hull penetrators, right? The hull penetrations. This is just a mistake on their part. It was not, it says after the segment was removed from the aft dome. It's not removed. But there's an issue here. That is, we're looking at the tank in that position. That is, you can see it clearly here. Well, hold on. And in this part of the image, we see the tank here. It's not in front of the aft segment. It's there under this visual, this view. So I have some conflict here, and then there's the shackle. See the red? The red on the shackle? Let's just scroll down a couple images. This one says main wreckage views from top side. Okay, bottom left. All right. As we go back to that image, this one says after the segment was removed after the aft dome. But there it is, there, presented again. Those pieces, and there's your shackle. All right, see the red on it? Bright as day. Red, the nut, the bolt part of it, and the top claims clear. And it says aft segment. What's intriguing is that we're looking at the tank on the outside of the segment. Very intriguing, very problematic. Because they're saying it's after it's been removed, and yet they're identifying, and it's identified as the material. As we just scroll up a little bit, we see that the tank, once again, is my little fishy in the background. He's got to eat what he's got to eat. You know what I'm saying here? Wink, wink. All right. It's after it was maybe manipulated, because here's the tank here. I'm getting, some serious. There's two tanks that apparently presentedly. Now this one says top, all right, and it's facing towards this. It's to us. It looks like it's at the sand. This is in the sand. This is at that clock position. The top has this. That's the top. If that's the top, then that means that's the top. Extrapolates out to being the top. Right here again, top, it says top. All right, so one more time. If that's the top, right next to the top is the top of the interface ring. Now we go to, I'm sorry, they call it a segment. Let's stay on track with that. I think it's been rotated because now we're no longer at the presenting as the sand. But maybe it's the angle of view, but we should see sand back here. And there's the top, there's that, and this one is problematic for me. Right? It's no longer there. But what I do observe is that it might be that line now. Remember how they hook those yellow lines up when they bring it up? It might be hooked up, and they might have flipped this thing a couple, 3 times already, and the material's pretty stuck in there. And then we wind up looking at what we're looking at, because now we look at this, right? That's way off the bottom of the sand. And it says piece of hull with rubber coating on the outside and the thickness of 2 co-bonded layers consistent with layers 4 and 5. Okay. And then this one says Main wreckage viewed from forward end and top side. And again, that top now looks like it's here near the sand, and this is some part of the equipment, the ROV, remote operated vehicle. This is probably about right because this one that goes down towards the sand. This piece down there. That orientation is probably about correct. And there it is there, where it says top rail in the image. Main wreckage views from top side. Interesting that they say from top side. They should say from heading 9. 9 degrees from the 9 degrees heading. That's their choice though, right? I'm not gonna get more shadow banned by bat taking that battle on. But this is behind and not in front of the ring, the segment. All right, so that's an issue with me. That's Max in the background scratching on his post thingy. So I know you guys can read, and you think I can't read. This is why I don't look at the reports. I told you I don't look at the reports until I'm finished with everything that I can do, so I don't get biased first off. And if, like that, you guys read it and you're like, nope, I'm reading it. My interpretation is wrong because you read that. I didn't read it. All right, I did not read it because I'm looking at what I'm looking at, and I can process the data without reading the narrative. I know that in this image, it's behind. This tank is behind, tucked in behind the segment. Now, some of you guys write me, and I got no choice but to take on the data, such as there's 2 bolts connected. Then they show it to me, and they send me emails, things like that. I'm like, okay, I read it. Too late. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. All right, but I don't go diving for more data after that unless it really piques me. So, like this is without the bracket. I don't know if that's in the report or not. My man sends me some stuff sometimes. It is too late once he tells it to me. I can't unread it. For example, he told me the other day that he found something in the report that said, "Hey, in case of emergency, consider adding more air to the vessel." Interesting enough, I told him, I said, wow, that was one of my thoughts, but the problem is you can only get about 100 feet out of that pressure differential before the person can't breathe. They got problems. Maybe you can get 150-foot depth out of that extra pressure. And because I said jokingly, I said to him, why don't they just put their feet against the wall, against the inside hull? And I also said, why don't they just make some wood, put some wood and start sawing and make some braces. Anyway, I was having some fun with that. Okay. So, no, I saw your comments, but I knew what I read. I knew what I saw, and I knew what you guys read, and I was like, well, no, the interface is there. I'm sorry, the segment's there. So this one says top, and this is probably, if I go back to the video where they approach it, this one's probably more in line with it. But remember where this is now. It's not here, right? It's not there like this, where you see this, that folded over piece. But well, hold on. But I talked about it in a longer video. There we have that piece there. So if you zoom in, you get a clip of that. You get a piece of that other tank. And perhaps if they move this debris out of the way, the other tank would then take front stage. And then this could be hidden from that view because you can't see it past the ring. So that would justify why you have this view maybe here, why you have this view. You can't see past the ring. Wait a minute. You can see past the ring. Wait for it. It says top. Top. T-O-P. Remember where top is. All right? Wait for it. This now says top. So as we come from top and you go down the ring towards the starboard side, this is the other tank. All right, so starboard side, this tank around the interface ring. Top is up there. Starboard side's on this side. All right, it's over here. Pay attention. Let's go back to top again. I hope you're catching on now. Now let's go back to top. Okay, so here's top here, right? Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. So this is bottom. It's longer. Is I clear on that? Let's see. No, that might be, yeah, that's got to be bottom because top doesn't have these so close to it. So this would be bottom. All right. And then let's see what it says. Piece of hull with rubber coating on the outside and thickness of two hulls consistent with. Okay, that's the bottom. That's your two hole penetrations. All right, now coming back to this, your shackle orients. Let's do the circle. They orient here, and then this is your top. So top, this is shackle, and this is bottom. So over here is right here and here. So now as you look at it, as I turn this same image, and I draw it for you, this is top. Hey George, you're here. All right, shackle, and then it'll be shackle over here. And you're actually looking at the tank on this side now, between this here. This is the other tank. The other tank on the outside. So behind this fold, right, behind this is the other tank. Okay, so let's do that again. So you got that to the right. So that's over here with the starboard side, this tank. Let's get oriented again. So we come back up here. And now you see that this tank is actually behind it. But the ring is still present. The ring, this segment is still present. So there's one tank. There's supposed to be two of them. There's two tanks. There's the other piece of the other one right there, presently. And the other tank is here. All right, so no reason to get upset about this saying that the segment's been removed. It says after the segment was removed from the aft dome. Well, how do you do that? I can't get it through all this debris, so this is just an error. A commenting error. Only one thing referred to the segment, and it's actually saying it's still there. It's saying aft segment. It points at it. So don't believe your lying eyes. But this is maybe the right. It's two tanks in there, or maybe even four, but it looks like they're set up for at least four. But there's one tank, and then the other tank's there. So this tank gets folded over to the right. All right, so there's the top. Let's draw the top. And here's your tanks, 1 and 2. And this tank winds up here on top. So now do you see that there was, using the top again, the sigmoidal failure, right? This part being the top area. We do get some buckling in, some folding, some buckling in like that. All right, so this is able to the head. All right, stop with the penis stuff, guys. I'm not drawing penises, all right? I'm drawing the real shape here. You guys, I'm not an artist for pornography. I talk some pornographic stuff sometimes, but I'm not an artist for it. You know, here, you want some fucking balls? Here's 2 balls for you, all right? Work with that for you good people who want to talk about that. Everything, you see 2 balls, you think of human balls. It's not me. I guess this would be what? Breasts? Jesus Christ, it's a W. But now you're never going to see it right again, right? All right. So, does it get less if I do this? Does it look less like a penis to some of you people who are fascinated by seeing penises everywhere? I really think some of you need to get laid. So if you're seeing penises in my drawing, what's this, an apple right here? Or somehow this is something sexual? You guys are more freaks than I am. All right, so this to go here, right? To go up to the right. Here's the top. So top is here. For that tank to go up to the right, you got to put it up there. So during this failure, we have a action that goes that way also. It bifurcates this system. And that shit is a lot of force to get that to fold up into there, to get it way from point A to point B over here. That's an amazing, um, the direction. My model can show this. We don't see fiberglass doing it. You don't see it, but fiberglass is definitely capable of grabbing that tank that's here. So the bottom fiberglass here is definitely capable from being this fiberglass that ran, it's probably aluminum, up to there, and then fold it over. Now wait for that. Wait for it. So you guys might visualize it hitting like this. All right, let's clean this up. So you might visualize it hitting there. Yeah, I folded it over. No. For it to fold over, it's got to go over the outside of it also. Like your two fingers, you'd have to pinch down here and pinch here. And I guess you guys are gonna say you pinch your nipples now. Come on. All right, so it's gotta impact it and keep on going. It just gets pinned here, pinned down here, and then it still has to drag across this, and this panel has to keep going. This panel is somewhere in the background, or that panel is a major piece to tell us that the implosion is a different location higher up than say 500 feet or something of that nature, depending on the lay of the field, which they're not giving to us. But with not having the lay of the field, I know I can't bend this around here unless I can think of a stick. You grab a stick, go to your trash can, and now get the stick and whip it, whap, across the edge of the can. Yeah, you don't need the extra. You don't need the extra anything on the inside the trash can. But you know it's going to happen with the stick. It's going to whip around and hit the inside of the can. Well, this could be a whip around effect too, like that it came up there, whacked it, and it whips it around. So instead of looking for carbon fiber, I have to worry about did it whip around. All right, so hopefully that gives you some more to think about. Now, I have a thruster issue that I have to deal with. All right, I've got multiple thrusters, but more importantly, my thruster issues are yeah, that was one of the pieces I wanted to show you. My thrusters issues with the outer with this guy here. How did this piece on the outer section, which was mounted, let's see, the bottom rail, port rail, yeah. How did she become inside? How did she get inside? Beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful challenge. How did she get inside? And they've got more video of this. I mean, I'm sure if they release it, that we'll see what, if they climb over, and look down, that we would see the tank over there. I don't think that's it there. We would see the tank over there, but there was a lot of folding going on inside here. I mean, look at this carbon fiber. It's flat now. It's just 90 degrees to where it was. It was up, and now it's down and inside, and plated and laid over. Look at it, played over, stockpiled inside there. So it shows you that initially initially is broken there. The rest of the forces. It's like having me putting a lot of weight on your shoulder, and then me breaking your legs. Me breaking your legs, lassie. All the weight that's on your shoulder now is going to come down into your legs where I just broke them. Well, this is the broken legs down here in the aft section. This will be the part that's broken. You understand? And then this will drive in. This piece she's a beautiful piece. I showed you how. Yeah, it's not what you think it is. All right, this piece here. I'll show you. Look at the top view. This rotates like that. This is what it pulls it off of this edge, because this edge, this edge up there is intact. A piece of it is anyway. And maybe it slides down and takes out a couple layers and folds them into here. And folds them, stockpiles them into there. But that damn motor, that thruster, both of these, I get one. I get one for free coming in. All right, through rotation. I get one of those for free. That's the port rail. But how the hell do I get the, I get the top rail. Where's my starboard? Top, I get that one. Port. Oh, okay. I get my port rail. I get my port rail coming in. That's one for free because the way the head rotates. But I thought it was two of them there. I could. Oh, I just assumed. Never mind. I saw it. My mistake. It's the port rail. All right. So this one I get to rotate in, and it's got a buckle to it. Where's she go? That's top. That one. Yeah, that's my port rail. Top. Yeah, that's my port rail. No, yeah, that's my port rail, and that's where the bracket would have been. Well, that actually goes the other way in the hinge for the door. Connect right about there, and she had a pretty nice buckle. I mean, it had a nice little frequency to it. Because this is galvanized, I think, and this thing was able to flake off the galvanized. So that was a hell of a frequency to shake that galvanized off. And you can see to what extent. And now these holes go all the way through, which doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? Because the hole's on the other side. I don't see any screws, though. Let's go to, yeah. So the one thruster, no, I wanted to show you the stockpile. So the one thruster, I would hope it's inside here somewhere. It's sheared off and it's out here somewhere. That thruster is I see the other two top thrusters, the ones that go up and down, and the other one, I got that. But when each side rail comes in, a port rail, and the starboard rail, when it comes in because of the ring, I don't have it. Hey, Max. It's got to slide over. It's got to press. So let's do this. This is the hull, right? And I'm going to do the ring, which we're going to call the segment. But the segment's got this one here. This is this. But there's one over here also. So this is the port side, starboard side, down this way. Okay? And then it's got the dome. Yeah, you penis lovers. Anyway, there's so many you gay people out there. So anyway, it turns that way for the guys who keep saying it. It turns this direction. I can figure out how to stop you from saying it, won't you? It won't probably. So it turns it torques to the right because you have a failure back here. This that legs theory I'll tell you about, the snap buckling. All right, so then the legs go out over here. This allows it to collapse. And since this is still rigid here, and this piece here, I believe is that, it causes it wants to still compress in, but since this right leg is broken, if you will, it's able to compress, buckle this, and it drives it in. There was a motor here. All right, it rotates it in, and that would be grabbing that, rotating it in. Rotating it in, and so somewhere out here should be the damn bracket. Rotates it in. At some point, the motor does it doesn't rotate in far enough. It gets sheared off, and it's either out here in this field, or some ghost took it, because that son of a bitch got the hell out of me right now. I wish they would show it. I tried to find it in the debris field. I looked, and anyway, who wore red going down that day? You guys want to see something different? There's that red. There's two pieces of red. All right, maybe that's some clothing there you guys can work with. But the rest is on the tank. That says port rail again. That's the one we're looking at. We're investigating. There it is right there, port rail. Just had a motor on it. So turning it in, I get the driving force back here to turn it in and push it in. It's really problematic because it's also, that's the one with the weak 3 bolts. I show where it's got that gap. Remember I showed the gap, and then so here's the rail, the one we're looking at, and it's a gap here. It's a gap here. So, you know, that would help me be able to turn it to get it to go inside. And it went in significantly deep. I mean, I know that you could probably count the holes, and if you can go back and look at the sub, you can probably extrapolate out to the distance. But maybe it's 4 feet, so 4 foot's inside there. Totally survivable. I don't know why somebody didn't swim up to the top. I guess, you know, if you didn't hold your breath first, you kind of messed up at that point. Yeah, a little macabre there, right? Yeah, so there's the top rail again, the port rail again. There's the buckle and the shearing of it. It tells you that the interface ring segment was connected with the that's the door hinge. And at one point, you know, this segment, I don't know where the hell it is. I saw it there, but I don't know how it came off, left or right, because I can't, they're not locating in the field to me. They're not showing it exactly in the field. It does say segment, but I think it has it north of this, per the map. Not north of our image, but north per the map. And one more time, looking at the bottom. So let's get this right. That says, this is why I said it's spun, right? Because this is the bottom, BOTM. There's the orientation, extra orientation of the, you can see it's missing the nut there, but they found it there. So that's interesting. They were able to find that piece, but apparently they were not getting a hold of the rest of the stuff. And this is where it says port. I talked about that. This is, so if that's the port, this would have to be the port railing, right? Port railing. And it says port rail. All right, so remember there's a port and a starboard. And that's orientation. That's the port. This is where this would have been connected there. There's that one I said it's missing. But they did bring it up. It's in the on the pallet when I bring it up, but it's not connected here. All right, not connected. So but it was down there. So that's during the failure. Apparently, it managed to shear the outside of it, which is amazing, right? It sheared the outside. What? I don't see any debris down there to shear the outside. So, and it is sheared. So that's a very specific piece. It has its own special story. It's sheared. So let's get to this orientation. So once again, this is the bottom. Let's draw it. When you come around, you're gonna have to draw 2 hole penetrations on each side. And then you're gonna, when you come around, if you draw it, it'll help you better. And then there's your bracket. That would be the starboard side. Come around. You're gonna then do your top. You're gonna come around, and you're gonna have another bracket here on your port side. So this is looking at it. If you could turn it a little, rotate it a little bit, you would see how you're looking at the bottom, and the right side would be right side for us here in this image, and left side would be starboard. So that's the port bracket, in fact. So this is the port bracket. Okay, port. And we go to the ring. We see here, port's over here. This is the starboard. So port's there. All right, so you have to, and then this is the top. This is that's the top. Yeah, that's the bottom over here. So now you got to pick it up and put it back on, but you got to make sure the port is connected there on your correct side. So as you're looking down at it, from looking down, you say, aha, this would be the right side, and this the left as you're looking down from the view from this way. And this is where that side here is where that metal bracket is connected. But we can't see the bracket. Over here we can see this on the starboard. All right. I want to bring your attention to the inside of the vessel, and part of that driving force to crush the tanks is this piece here. This is bent, all right? It's bent. It's chipped away, it's bent. This one was part of our driving force for the tanks. You can see the scar marks inside there, and snagging a tank, driving it back there. If it just blew outwards, and not in it all, then we wouldn't have a bent member here. It would just blow outwards. It's only a toilet connected in that, so it would shred the toilet. And it was it. If it just blew outwards, you would also have remember, some of you think it went like this, that the implosion went that way. Well, let's just work with that. This is the front. Here's a segment, and there's the lens. Well, it blew out that way. Over here by this dome, and I'm going to zoom out, we'll find plenty of carbon fiber by it because it blew that way and it pushed it out that way. And as we zoom out, oh, wait a minute. Right. There's no carbon fiber around it. Huh. All right, so that throws you out the window for looking for the carbon fiber by this. This was just a pool ball. That's all it did. It came in, it got hit, it slapped all the way to the back end of it. Slapped it to the back end. It got elastic collision like a pool ball, and off she went back out again. Talking about the moisture and getting extra loading weight on this damn thing. I want you to think about what they said about 20 degrees. This thing was 20 degrees, ass heavy, until they added the syntactic foam, and then it leveled off. So without the foam and without the ass end, it's not ass heavy. It's just, I think it has good positive buoyancy. Just that alone, that it could have made its way back up. Again, there's the ass segment identified, so you guys starting to catch on. All right, there's the, hey, George. All right, there's the forward dome to the right, as they call it, forward dome, that door. And in the back left, you see that all the chips I talk about, the witness marks, the chips, all in the background left here, all this field. All right, all the sprinkling, all the pepper. That's the report. Don't want to look at that right now. It kind of bias on position. I might read it next few days. I'll let you know when I read it. All right. So again, there's the got a cat alarm, cat alert. So there's the port. That's my alarm in the background thing. So there's the port. So there you guys, that's what you're supporting. It's a little before 2 a.m. in the morning. We got a hungry cat out there. That's looking through one of the video cameras. And I got to reload the bowl because this little kitty wipes the bowl out. It's empty now. I thought you'd like to see what you're paying for. This is what you're supporting. Thank you, guys. Anybody new to the channel? Nope, I don't need any money. This is for the cats. So don't send me any money. Don't send me a cup of coffee. Send it to the cats. Sorry, focus. Look at him, he's got paws inside there. Munching away. So I'm going to reload it right now. Because it came back. I got the alarm, and there was nothing in the bowl. Happy kitty. Happy kitty. Hungry kitty. Imagine that. You got 2 o'clock in the morning. You're going out looking for food. And you're hungry. Can't go to the grocery store. They can't go to the grocery store. They're hungry. Oh, I got the door open. So the storm door. What the hell's he got? Something on his chin. That one's got something on his chin. What's going on with the kitty with the chin thing? Hold on. See if this kitty needs to be trapped and taken to the vet. What the hell? Oh, customer, little possum's coming up. The possum, he comes up. He doesn't eat much at all. No, they don't, they're usually pretty good. Even the fox doesn't run off the cat. But who knows? He might not like the possum. What the hell's wrong with dude's chin? Check out the little possum. What's he doing? Looking for... There's something else. They chew a lot. Let me tell you, when they eat a nugget, if you see him eat one just now, he's going to chew and chew and chew whatever he's going to grab. You'll see him totally chew his food. Let's wait for the animal cam to finish. I'm not sure what's in the bowl there. Which food's in there? So, back to the hole penetrations. Bottom and hole penetrations. And the buckling towards the hole, the bottom. If you get this towards the front and you try to make it buckle, well, then it doesn't have any force to be able to buckle the rest. It sort of blows apart, doesn't get the same effect, especially since it's got to grab hold of this damn section here and bend it in. So this is one of my favorite pieces to tell a story, this one here. And how did it get in? It's the outside of the vessel. How did it become inside the vessel? It's inside now. Well, it's right in front of your eyes. When it started folding in, there's another sigmoidal failure, that failure like that. But one of them, let's put the railing there, or unfair. Let's put the railing here, and we get okay, another kitty. Yeah, I gotta go feed the cat. Let me pause the video. Okay, I'm back. Just fed the cat out there. I didn't see it. It took off, of course. It comes back. I'll hear the alarm in a moment. I'll take a look. So it's exteriorly, it starts to fail. And what's so critical about this is that to bend this over is no longer something like I showed you where you can hit it like the edge of a trash can. That doesn't exist here. So this is carbon fiber, and it's near the end that was able to fold over. Shit. So that's the bracket we're looking at, top view. It's able to fold over. It's able to grab. Let's see, put it on the outside. There's the fiber. correction. So this is, oh, you know what? Let's do this. Here it is here. That's the carbon fiber, but out here is this guy, right? Let's see. It says starboard side. Let's clear that up. Starboard side. So let's draw it again. So here on the starboard side is the rail. It's outside. It's very close to the hull, but it's outside. So how do we engulf it? How do we engulf that? Now it's also connected to the segment. So we get some force, but we can't get too much because this is all right. So let's see. This one is the port rail. So let's get this right. Port starboard. Right. So this the side that's you got to invert yourself a bit here and confirm it at the bottom. Yeah. So as you look at the vessel from the front, this will be on the left side. And so that left side, in this case, is the one that slides down, and I get my bracket. So it's over here, not here. I get my bracket crushing from there. So I get this folding over just because the hull rotated and took the segment with it. And the segment was able to crush it, was able to do that. On the other side, though, we see that it's not crushed, which means, again, it's how it pulls away. This one, it breaks free from it because remember I talked about that, looking at the top view again. I talk about that rotation. So there's a, so let's see, that says starboard and port. So this is port over here. There's your ring, your segment, and then over here, same thing. I got to put a bracket there, actually. This one is this one, and this one it pulls away from. This one, it rotates and drives into the back of the vessel, along with whatever's in its way. Okay, so let's take another peek at this one. So we want to look at the port rail and see if we can find a elongation, a stretch, or tension break to give us some more verification. Even a twist. So there's part of the failure. This is the port rail, and it was connected to the bracket. And you can see there is a little twist there. There's some. This looks like some twisting, not too much buckling, but you know, some twisting going on as it drove in. All right, it drove into a limit before it was able to no longer have any force driving behind it, and took that right rotation. So counterclockwise, if we look at it from the top, and then acted like a piston. The head of it did. Impacted, pool ball, bounced back off. Think of a basketball then. Yeah, these don't escape me. These little fucking nodules are sticking out. I've seen them before when they were doing things there. And yeah, kind of gross. Some things gross me out. That's one of them. That's one of them. So then you may say, well, there's the top rail. Why does it have some of these buckles in it? Well, it did drive it in for a moment. It drove in before taking that rotation. And so that's it. That's the length of the moment that what it handled before it was rotated away. And so it tore off again this way and coming down here. So that's why you don't see it totally buckled under. And it was it was let go through under tension at that point, and compression. It was compressing it, and then it sprung away from it, and you're looking at the deformation that resulted. No more, no less. Well, it did hit the sand there, so I don't know how much it reshaped it. Maybe it was going to be over here, and then it rolled over, hit the sand, and maybe it put itself there. Oh yeah, this is a pretty amazing thing here. This these failures. This was the back end where the hull was connected, and as you can see, there is no bracket there. I think that, let's see, so port stuff. I think that's the one that still might be connected. On the other side, no. On the other side, it's not connected, nor is it connected when they bring it up, which is, you know, has a high level of precocity with me. I call it precocity. So there's starboard, and there's starboard again. As you can see, the brackets said goodbye. The well didn't hold up at all, and that held up the back of the vehicle, the vessel. It held the back of it up. So now in this video, I explained the tanks. I explained that they could not, that they made a mistake saying the segment's removed at that point. The segment was not removed. I talked about, the two bolts that someone told me about, and in the report it says that 2 bolts are still held on this, so that kills any rotation to speak of for this one. You know, to speak of that rotation taking place on this side. So these were all just bolts that sheared in tension as the back end was shoved back. But the hull still spun, the hull part, because we get the metal spun out and away. And you get that debris, as you can see, folding in, and being driven to the back, crushing it to the back. Not all of it is being done by the hull, by a lot of the work's being done by the carbon fiber also. But the front cap. But the front cap, front dome, did have the bent legs. And again, this is aluminum, so the tanks were. So I do see the aluminum being bent fairly easily. Then we have this one by itself. But remember, this was where it's bent. That's where the seat was. And as we can recall, there's nothing white in the dome, right? There's the dome here. And now you observe something white. So that's some CF, carbon fiber. And that's one of the layers in there that, as it drove it in, that you get some of the carbon fiber remains. They get jammed up like that, and of course that would eject the window. It would smash the window, shearing off the bolts to secure it from the outside, just to keep it in place. Remember, the pressure is going to keep it in place as it goes down. And you get the location as such. All right, so it's not much, but it's enough. Triangulating these distance, if I put it down here and here, and then I knew the length of the sub with here, and I knew this to be like 50 meters, right? And if this just imploded and it just went straight down, they would be the same distance if this is apart from each other, which is what, about 8 feet, 8 feet about with the rings. But we're no longer at 8 feet, we're at 50 meters. So you divide the approximately 150, 130, about 150 plus feet. Minus the 8. All right, so I guess we come to that. And then you try to figure out the angle, but you got to do half of it. So you do half, and this is your angle of incidence. And this is theoretical because you're playing with it. This one was probably more, once it imploded, was least likely to go, from what you understand, by shooting bullets in the water. They don't go far, so this is just a bullet in the water. Doesn't go far, so discounting any travel for the implosion, moving it away, just trying to come up with this angle here to come up with this spread of what we see existing in the background of approximately 50 meters. I forget what it is. I think it's like 25 meters actually. But you then start to triangulate. You would go 12.5 meters here if it was 25. If it was 25 meters. This was 25 meters. You'd go 12.5, and so that would be your known here. And then you want to keep raising this up, your height, using your inclinometer, if you will, until you finally get a 12.5 meter spread and then this will tell you your height. This is an estimate, but at least you got something to work with. And this might put you at whatever. Let me see. So just for the sport of it, at 12.5 feet, if you went off the deck 200 feet off the deck, this would be this here where the sub is, and you wanted to put this section over here and this section over there, consider them equally separating from each other. This right here, so this inclination here would be 3.58 degrees. That's all it would be. Seems pretty reasonable. And this distance traveled, this is 200 feet up. This is also 200 feet. All right, it's like 200.39 feet. So 200. Well, if I go higher, it's less of a inclination. So if I go higher, so going higher, it still works. The more higher I go, I can get away with a lot more of like, so in other words, I can put this at 1,200 feet, right? This is 12.5. I just need to go 12.5 to here. This is 1,200 feet. This is approximately 1,200 feet also, because I'm using that 12.5. It's just working out that way perfectly each time. So now, though, my inclination in there drops down to almost a half a degree. It's 0.60 degrees. All right. So as you go up more, you can get less inclination, but the higher you go, the more all the debris has to now come this direction, which is problematic because not all of it's going to come that direction, right? 1,200 feet up. 1,200 feet up, you're not going to get that sprinkling, your separation of your materials like that. So that's why I'm compressing it down to a lower rate, lower section, and now I don't have to do much to get this over to here. But then I get my pepper field. I get my pepper field if I go lower. If I go higher, I get a much larger pepper field, differently distributed than as you see there. Oh, so this piece is interesting, guys. That's part of the hydraulic pieces. And remember, that's missing. But this is not mounted for, wait a minute, there is a chance to mount it on a clip there. There's a clip, oh no, there's a clip there. So, yeah, that one's a little interesting to say the least. And there it is here. So that's probably coming off one of your hull penetrations over there. So I figured I'd take a little bitty piece of the report for you and I'd start reading it. Pretty tired, but let me go ahead and get you something. It says rails. I thought of interest, it says starboard rail was also bent mid-span, so like buckled, bent. The port rail exhibited a counterclockwise twist. So the port rail did. Now that kind of clockwise twist on the port rail was connected to the front segment, so that indicates that the rotation took place with that segment, which is telling you, one, the pressure and during the failure of the hull, it was in a gradation. It was not just, I'll show you in a model. If you're in a private room, you've already seen it. But that model gets even better. But as you press in there, you're creating a rotational force on the front interface ring, aka also known as the segment. You can also get that, though, from it being shoved into for those few feet before it releases the segments and don't release, and it bounces off. It'd be nice to know what that segment is, but I'm burned. I'm pretty tired now. My eyes are done. And I took my sleeping pill, so didn't make it to an hour for you guys. Made it 55 minutes. And we'll pick this up another time. I'll load this video and set it for a future date. Again, I have a model for you. I have one in the room already, so you can join there. It's only $1, so cough up your dollar and be happy. Sometimes I post over there some new stuff. Sometimes you get it ahead of time. It's an issue with me posting. Whatever I post there, I got to make sure it stays new, because YouTube won't let me do a duplicate, like post there, let you see it, and then post in the public. If I put a delay on it, then they won't even, they'll see it as a long delay, and they'll say, oh, no one has interest in it. So then it won't get any traction at all. So I'll be careful with that. So thanks for your love for the kitties. Didn't hear the alarm go off now that I think about it. I had the thing open so the cats didn't come back for food yet. And thanks for playing along. And hopefully now you'll see that this segment was still there. You can go back and look at the beginning of the video. That segment was still there, even though the report said it wasn't. There's a couple of things in the report, like in details that I saw in the other report. Because I did go through the strain gauges, which are very interesting strain gauges. The reports from NTSB versus the reports from the computer guy. Computer guy looks like he used just a giant magic marker to do a graph that you can't really read, whereas the NTSB guy is more refined and using good tick marks, and it looks like you can extrapolate some good data from it. But they're using a solid marker. It's not very, that's the way that it's graphing out. It's not very refined at all. So what's this say about C before I go? Piece C was found between the bottom and the figures 10, 12 to its dimensions could not be determined. As with A, the piece had delaminated into multiple layers. Layer 1, layers 2 and 3, and layers 4 and 5. Layer 3 and 4, between layer 3 and 4 interface, had a dark appearance and occasionally patches of green, consistent with separation near the 3 and 4 interface, but predominantly through the carbon fiber composite. Yeah, so predominantly through the fiber, not the where they married it up. You guys might see Kitty before we go to bed after all. See what we got here. We got a customer. So let's see what we got here. Sometimes it's the other camera that kicks in until they work their way to the front. I got multiple cameras. And I'm telling you, I'm loading it up. So customer service. Customer service is here. Oh, we got the raccoon tonight. Let me get you going here. Hold on. We got raccoon cam. Dude dips in the water over here if the water shows. He'll dip in there. Now, he'll take that. You guys are sponsoring that. He's a little bit on red alert there. He might be trying to call his buddy. But it'll dip here to dip into there as water. Back and forth. That's the raccoons eating. Now I can hit this thing here. That's the light. And this is also a siren. He got used to my siren now. So you can see if he does anything at all. Yeah. Maybe. It's a little annoying to him, but that's it. Yep. That's the siren going off. And he's like, whatever. He said, I heard that siren before and nothing happens. Normally dips. I wanted to show you guys the dip. The water dip. I guess he got water out there. I got water over to the left. Let's try the alarm again. Nope. He's used to that alarm. So listen to the regular one. He's like, Man, that alarm means nothing to me, dude. Let's try 3 bangs to the alarm. Want the cat to eat tonight. No luck. So, let me see. Hold on, let's sneak up on him. We'll leave him alone. Alright, so you guys have a good night. Got more to go. The thruster, I want to work on the thrusters. I hopefully get more imagery for you. And then I'll go ahead and enter more. But just showing you that other people that think they're reading the rings, that those rings are not the segments. Don't pay attention to some of the description. That's why you come to my channel, because I can tell you what's what. Tell you that, point out the mistakes, and go from there. Love you guys. I'm out. Thanks for supporting the cats.